Blue-black control, Mardu aggro. Stark second place at Grand Prix Memphis among many accomplishments. And, well, Turtenwald's resume speaks for itself. Game number 3 here. Now, Stark, he played red-white in Memphis. That's where he got second place. Now, this is similar, I believe, to what he was doing before.
Yeah, you get a couple copies of Crackling Doom in the main deck, and you have access to Thoughtseize in the sideboard. But the base of the deck is very similar.
Now, talking with Turtenwald yesterday, part of the reason that he's playing Blue-Black Control, and he said this himself, he's like, I don't think this deck is that good. He's like, I actually think it's pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But the matchups where it's good, it's great. The matchups where it's bad, it's terrible. And I think I have a lot of good matchups right now.
And taking the Dissolve here last turn from Stark allows an opening for Outpost Siege to resolve here. And that's not an easy card for a blue-black deck to get off the table.
Ben's going to take the opportunity. There is Outpost Siege. I imagine cons, and there it is.
A little early for dragons.
Maybe just a touch. Mountain will be revealed to Outpost Siege. Ben will draw a card as well. The land will come into play. Now it's time to get that card advantage engine online. You saw Turtenwald last turn miss a land drop. He does have Jason's Ingenuity in hand. Ben will just pass. Owen will draw. And I'll have to pass yet again. Ash Cloud Phoenix, the top card there for Stark, off of the Outpost Siege. And he'll cast it. See if Turtenwald has an answer. Doesn't look to right now. Stark will play an Evolving Wilds, pass the turn back.
Not willing to deploy the Seeker of the Way that turn. Knows about the Drown in Sorrow, so no reason to.
There's Bile Blight. That'll turn that face down. We go back Turtenwald's way. He's drawn an Urborg. Interesting is Urborg in this situation because obviously Turtenwald needs a land, but it does turn the Evolving Wilds into something that he could actually use for mana, can Ben.
I think he's sacking regardless.
Most likely, yes.
Just thin the deck out. At this point, he just wants juice from the Outpost Siege and the draw step. This deck does not need a lot of mana to function.
There's a mountain there for Stark.
The Outpost Siege Thoughtseize tandem seems really good against control decks post-board.
I agree. And the splash of black in this deck is minor, but I like it a lot. And Crackling Doom is an incredible card, just in general. It seems pretty well positioned right now. You see Outpost Siege reveal a Battlefield Forge. And, well, we don't have to say how good Thoughtseize is. I think everybody knows that by now.
Yeah, it's shown up in some winning decks. Standard role player Thoughtseize.
Here's a Seeker of the Way. Here's another one. Dig through time here for Turtenwald.
Another potent magic card.
Indeed. Turtenwald will take a look at the top 7. 2 will come with, 5 will go to the bottom.
R&D shot pretty high with the Delve cards, gotta say.
They're good ones.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise, Murderous Cut, Tassiger. Even Hooting Mandrills has gotten a little bit of burn. And that card is not that impressive. I think that card showed up a little bit.
Turtenwald has made his selection. Dig Through Time is done resolving. Looks like he's taking a Bile Blight there. Among other cards, Flooded Strand, the draw. Starting to work his way out of these mana troubles.
But Outpost Siege keeping Stark's head above water here. Without that card, one sweeper or even just the card drawers and spot removal would have buried him by now.
Yeah. Three mana. Maybe. Turtenwald will start by sacrificing the Flooded Strand. That'll go get him an island. No planes in the deck to search for. Simply to facilitate Dig Through Time.
Right. And this is a deck with as many 5-mana spells as it has. Cards like Evolving Wilds are pretty tough to play.
Yeah.
So.
There's Drown in Sorrow. Here's Crackling Doom.
And this is just to get some prowess triggers.
Now, this is something that Turtenwald knew could happen. So now he plays Bioblight to get these 2 creatures off the table. We can't forget that he gets the Scry there also from Drown in Sorrow.
It's a very nice sequencing here.
It does that to induce a little bit. Gets the Crackling Doom out of Ben's hand. Makes it so that, he doesn't have to worry about maybe Seekers becoming 4/4s as they're Stoke the Flames off the top.
And gets to set the stage for Tassiker next turn.
Yep.
Gets the Crackling Doom out of hand, which is great.
Stoke the Flames going to go upstairs. Turtenwald going to take 4. Ben just has to pass the turn back. Turtenwald will draw. 5 mana. Jason Ingenuity right now. 3 cards coming. Hero's Downfall, Radiant Fountain, and a Swamp. There's Radiant Fountain. Turtenwald going to gain 2 more life. He had some mana troubles when we joined it, but he's starting to pull away now.
No, it's not clear to me who's really winning the card advantage battle in the long term. It's probably Owen, probably the blue-black control deck, but Outpost Siege is incredible here, and if he's able to find another one, then he can really start running away with this.
Rabble Master's going to get taken care of by Murderous Cut. Stark going to play Battlefield 4, has to pass the turn back. We're going back Turtenwald's way, He'll draw a copy of Jason Ingenuity. Perhaps he wants to main phase this one as well. He'll just wait this time. Stormbreath Dragon off the top. Rabble Master the draw step. To the skies we're going to go. Hero's Downfall will take care of that. Follow up Rabble Master.
And I think there was maybe some disagreement about when that Hero's Downfall got pointed at the Stormbreath Dragon.
A little bit of miscommunication. I think Owen felt that he attacked, downfalled that. Not entirely sure exactly when this was taking place, because if this took place at the end of the first main phase, then Ben's able to rewind, play a spell like this Rabble Master, and then attack at the Goblin token. So.
Because if Owen says something like before you attack, that's kind of a nebulous timing window.
Yep.
Because it could mean at the end of your first main phase or inside of Declare Attackers.
Yeah, a little unclear, and I think the players are going to clear things up right now. Yep. So we'll have some conversation. We'll get a ruling, and we'll find out here in just a moment. But back here in the booth very quickly, Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan bringing you guys coverage of Grand Prix Miami. We're seeing Owen Turtenwald and Ben Stark do battle. Stark on red-white with a small splash of black, so we'll classify that as a Mardu deck, but very similar to what he got second place with at Grand Prix Memphis.
Yeah, no push to the Horde here. We're really looking at Crackling Doom in the main deck, and then in the sideboard, just another Crackling Doom and 3 copies of Thoughtseize.
Sure. So the black splash is minor. The lands he has off that, I imagine, Nomad Outpost.
He has actually no copies of Nomad Outpost, it appears. There's a Swamp and copies of Bloodstained Mire, 3 copies of Evolving Wilds, and then some Quetzalcoatlus. Okay. So very light.
And I think a lot of the time with the black splash in this deck, against Abzan or what have you, you're going to piggyback off people's Urborgs.
Yeah, not only that, but the cost of playing these 3-color lands in decks that aren't that powerful. I mean, in the spectrum of decks, this is in power level probably lower than Abzan, certainly lower than some of the Sultai decks we see. The lands that come into play tapped and don't do anything are a pretty enormous cost at the end of the day,
Yeah.
They're not scrying for you. They're not helping you cast your spells on time. You sort of get the worst of both worlds. For some decks, they're necessary evil for mana fixing. And some decks are so powerful that they can pay the cost of having those lands in their deck, but they're not for everyone, even for 3-color decks.
On the other side of things here, Turtenwald with his blue-black control deck. Again, speaking with him and some other players that are playing this deck, they all just kind of agreed, not the most powerful deck in the world. More of a metagame deck. They feel like right now it's well positioned. That's part of the reason they're playing. Talking with Huey Jensen, someone else that's playing Black Control this weekend, I said, how do you beat an Outpost? He's just like, I just don't care.
Right. Just power through it.
Yep. That was the thought process. It's like, yeah, you can have your 2 cards a turn. I don't care. My 1 card a turn is better than your 2 cards a turn. And I have Jason Ingenuity. I have Dig Through Time. I have Ugin, a card you can't beat.
And Pearl Linkage is another card that can just play over the top of Outpost Siege as well.
Yep.
And you're seeing sort of that go on right now where without Outpost Siege, Ben's definitely dead.
Yes.
He's got a bunch of burn spells in his hand. He's flitting out a little bit. And without that card, he definitely would have been out of this game a while ago. That said, Owen is still pushing through it. You get a sense that he's starting to take advantage of his extra resources. He's being able to, cast a removal spell and cast a card draw in the same turn. And once you start bridging together those turns, Outpost Siege has to be really cooperative for the other player to catch up.
As you said, as we're making our way through the paces of this game, it's unclear who's winning the card advantage battle, and Ben has a steady stream of card advantage every turn to Outpost Siege, and Owen just has his draw steps and then other card drawing spells.
Not only that, but we don't just count up the cards, who drew more cards, and then declare a winner.
Yep.
We had to look at the text boxes on the cards, and the blue-black control deck is bringing a lot more power to bear than the red-white / Mardu list is. So yes, you're drawing 2 cards a turn, but if there are things like Lightning Strike and Crackling Doom, these things that are hard to convert into a real card, and Owen's drawing counter spells, well, it's very different.
It looked like it was ruled that Ben did attack with Stormbreath Dragon. So Turtenwald able to take the opportunity to Jason's Ingenuity. Ben in response cast Stoke the Flames. We'll make sure our life totals are updated here for you guys as we are back underway here in game number 3 between these two fantastic players. Turtenwald now will deploy Salumgar. And things certainly get tough for Stark now. He'll turn over his Stoke the Flames with Outpost Siege. He'll take a draw step. Here's your Thoughtseize.
And this might be one of the all-star moments for Crackling Doom here. If Ben has it and is able to push it through.
There's Negate. See if Ben does have Crackling Doom. The answer is yes. That'll take care of Slumgar. You see the Black Splash paying off immediately.
Oh, for sure. Thoughtseize and Crackling Doom have been huge in this game.
Yeah. There's Rabble Master. Token. Stoke you. Use all of my mana. Use all these cards. Your turn. Great turn.
Yes, I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah.
That's just a perfect turn.
Turtenwald's draw an island. Dig through time. It's already a good turn here for Owen. We'll take a look at the top 7. He'll take 2 with him. Radiant Fountain among the options. Another dig through time as well. Dissolve. Looks like a Hero's Downfall too. Some goodies.
But now Owen at 9. Outpost Siege still unchecked. Owen's starting to, chain together the card drawers into card drawers, but
Hero's Downfall will take care of that. I think Ben was expecting Drown in Sorrow. Soulfire Grandmaster.
another card that's so awesome with Outpost Siege because the game will naturally get into these long spots, and then Soulfire Grandmaster with a lot of mana at the ready can come up. We don't see it all the time, but this deck is very well situated to set this up.
But see, I think Ben is the one that figured out the best way to use Soulfire Grandmaster, because I think, us as a community have felt, as Sirius has also take care of it, that this card's undoubtedly powerful. Everyone knows that, but what's the best way to use it? And this build of red-white, and we can call this one Mardu because the small splash of black, he found the best way to do it.
Yep, and talk about adding some high-impact cards to the mix too. Thoughtseize and Crackling Doom, some nice ones to get to rebuy.
Another dig through time here. No Soulfire Grandmaster necessary to make this card good. Turtenwald going to take a look at 7 more. He'll take 2 with him. Jason's Ingenuity an option here. Looks like another dig through time too. So he's starting to chain those together. There's Delta, pass the turn back over to Stark. Let's see the reveal. That's a Battlefield Forge. He'll take a draw. Forge will come in. Here's an attack for 1. Turtenwald's down to 7. Turtenwald wants to take a look at Stark's massive graveyard.
It's a lot in there.
Yes, sir.
Game's gone on for a very long time, and Ben's looked at a lot of cards.
Now here's a 3rd dig through time. Whew. A Stoke, a Strike, and that is going to do it. Ben Stark is going to win this game and match over Owen Turtenwald 2-1. Mardu Aggro will take care of blue-black control, and for Stark, it's a great start.